Doesn't it come down to, it just feels like, okay, how do the Brock Purdy's got to play like Brock Purdy, but it feels like Dak Prescott's got to play better than Dak Prescott's been playing or plays for the most part. I mean, I think that's why people think it's going to be like doesn't Dak need to play better than Purdy for the most part? Because Purdy, whether it's the game plan or whatever, he's got more playmakers, and the offense is devised for him to get the ball to his playmakers ASAP.
Steiny, I'm not mad at that, but to me, it's about winning. Dak needs a win, even if he were to play bad. Brock Purdy's at the embryo stages of his career, and he's already chalked up 2 playoff wins. We're looking at the Dak chapter. Maybe he's doing extension here, Steiny. Maybe he doesn't get that if somehow they lose or get bounced. That's what's at stake, and to me, that's why Ryan was on point. Like, Brock is out. There's no house money, Steiny, but he's already beat him. Jimmy's already beat Dak. Dak is coming to a crossroad, man. I'm going Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like, at some juncture, you just got to look at him like this guy can't win the big one. This is not a playoff game, but mentally it is. It might even be bigger than that. So if Dak could get the win and maybe get bailed out if he didn't have his bad game, it would go so far like he had threw 3 touchdowns and 400 yards, even if he had 180 and 2 picks. He needs a win, and the team does. Can they get it?
You know what, Goo? And I've been with you forever.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't believe you. I'm not saying you're lying.
What part?
I'll tell you what part. I think if Dak Prescott plays well on Sunday and the Cowboys win, whether it's you or Cowboy fans, you're still going to say, yeah, beat him in the playoffs. Like, he won't get like credit for a big win in the, like, it's still just going to be a week 5 win. I don't think as a Cowboy fan you're going to be like, you know what? Dak can do it now. I believe in him because he had one good game against the Niners. It's not going to be like that, right?
Well, to me, Steiny, it can't be, because you're right. It is a week 5 game. It's like a regular season game for any other team. Like, okay, you focus on the win, you celebrate, and we'll get back to the facility on Wednesday. But I'm asking you, what do you want done if he were to play his ass off and they got the win? Nobody would not say or point out he slayed the dragon, but at the end of the day, the playoffs are down the road. That's when you get what I think you want him to get if somehow he were to come in here and quarterback him to a win.
I'm just saying, if he comes in and the Cowboys, like, if this is, here's what I think. Yeah. If you're saying to me it's a bigger game for Dak Prescott than for Brock Purdy,
oh my gosh,
I don't agree with that, but that's fine. I'll give it to you. But if you're saying that and the Cowboys win the game, you got to give then this. He won a game that you thought was a big game, and he came through. Like, it can't be a bigger game for Dak Prescott. He plays well, the Cowboys win, and we come in Monday and be like, yeah, it's a nice win, but beat him in January. Like, that's not fair to Prescott.
It's the reality of sports, though,
but if it's a big game and he comes through, it's not going to be enough. It still won't be enough.
Let me give you this. Why is it a big game? Because he's lost, along with his teammates, to this team twice. A quarterback named Jimmy Garoppolo. Dak's supposed to be better than him. Mr. Irrelevant last year, Brock Purdy. So I get what you're saying, but damn, Steiny, how low is the bar if that postseason and that postseason thing, that's still there. That tunnel is still there regardless what happens Sunday night. And it'll be a big win from a mental standpoint. But as far as saying anything has changed as far as legacy,
I don't mean necessarily legacy.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know I said that at the
this
beginning
win
of the show.
won't go down as a playoff win. Regardless, so it's a big win.
Well, then I would kind of say that's not that big a game. But we know that's not the case. Like, I think
people agreeing with you.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Well, I don't know, but if the Cowboys win, it won't be enough for Dak. It's still like it
will help him,
but it's still going to come down to
the final exam.
Yes, exactly.
Where Purdy in the final exam Lightweight aced it with 2 wins in his first trip.
Right, and that's why I say it's bigger for Purdy. Because Dak Prescott knows if he wins this game, it doesn't mean squat. He knows.
You understand why that is, though, right?
Why. He knows that back in Dallas, they'll say, nice job, but show me in the playoffs.
And so why is that, Steiny?
Well, because he's failed in the past.
In the playoffs.
But my point is, even if he wins this game, no one's going to say, well, now he can win a Super Bowl. It's still going to come down to...
I think some of that would change, man.
No chance.
And forget us. He will believe it. Ryan said he will believe it. They will believe it. That's what this is about. If you got your general manager / owner saying the Super Bowl goes through a team that has yet to win the Super Bowl, that's saying some other stuff along with giving the Niners their props.
I mean, in a way, I'm looking at it from the other side. If you're going to sit here and for this show, basically talk about Dak Prescott's limitations,
shortcomings
in the
playoffs.
Sure.
Okay.
If you're going to sit here and say all that, if he wins this game, it's not going to change anybody's mind. If you feel that strongly that you don't think you can win it with Dak, the whole thing, well, then it's not a big game because he'll go back to Dallas and nobody will care. They'll just say, wake me in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wake me in the playoffs when you do it. And that's why I think for Purdy, it's a bigger game. Like Dak Prescott, let's say the 49ers win 30-20.
Okay,
guess what? Dak lost again. That's 3 in a row. We didn't expect him to win. Okay.
But what does he have in his back pocket?
That tax on his reputation.
But what does he have in his back pocket?
I don't know.
He has a chance to go to the playoffs regardless of what seed and still Ghostbuster all that stuff.
That's why I don't think there's a ton of pressure on him.
Right, but Brock already has shown you, Steiny, in the game that he finishes. I'm talking about the 2 playoff wins. He won them already.
Well,
I don't think there's super pressure.
You would never, ever, ever say Jimmy Garoppolo won a game for the Niners. We would never say that. Brock Purdy did not win that game for the Niners. That was a team win over Dallas. But that's the thing. The reason I think it's a bigger test for Purdy, or it's bigger for Purdy, is because Dak's more established. And yeah, I get it. His reputation isn't he's the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's got a reputation as, you know what, he's okay, but something happens in the postseason.
Yeah.
And
he was Brock Purdy.
He hasn't been able to get it done. And so, like Purdy, I mean, Prescott knows it's all about the playoffs. For Purdy, I definitely see a scenario, he doesn't have the track record. Now, this is clearly the biggest game of the year. So, Brock Purdy, this is going to be the best or second best team he's played against in his run.
Okay.
So, now it's fair to say, all right, Purdy, let's have a good game. That's all. Just have a good game. So, I don't know.
I hear you. I feel you knocking. I'm being so fair, man. I don't care if we were in Milwaukee or Green Bay, New England. The good that he's accomplished and the whispers he's got going about how good he is, I think a lot of people they're uncomfortable because they feel like he has not been put in a position to, take us down like Joe Montana did against the Bengals in the Super Bowl with John Candy in attendance. But I feel like there's a reason for that, Steiny. Now, that day's going to come. Those games are going to come. It may not be this Sunday, but I'm not going to come in here Monday if Brock has a bad performance. We talked about it 3 weeks ago, he's kind of afforded himself a bad game.
Okay, and using the same logic, I think it's completely preposterous to then come, if you're not going to say that, which is fair, because I believe it, then you can't say on Monday, well, now, because he beat the 49ers, now Dak Prescott can win it all.
No, it don't work like that.
Well, exactly.
He will still have that playoff bridge.
That's why it's not a huge game for him, because he can't win. He can't win yet.
How about this? He can quell the noise.
I don't think he can.
Well, this would be a humongous game.
Yes, it would.
Because then it's like, okay, you won't mess it up, Dak. Because we don't know if they're going to hook up in the playoffs, but
the Cowboys
this is going to go a lot. People will bite their tongue like, okay, Dak, you went and did that.
No chance.
But you got to do it again.
No chance.
You think?
No.
Oh, Steiny, it would be a funeral for him.
How many big games has Dak won in the last few years in the regular season? I bet he's won some big games in the regular season.
12, 13 every time you look up.
Does that quell the talk?
No.
So
and it
why
shouldn't,
with this
right?
one?
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
because the Niners are so great and they're picked to win.
Goo.
And they beat you twice, partner. That's all.
Yeah, but I'm just
And
saying.
he's going to play Philly twice.
Exactly. How they do against Philly?
1-1 last year, and he's got a winning record in his career against
when
Philly.
you go into the game against Philly, do you feel this meek or do you feel more confident?
No, I feel like he's more comfortable with Philly because he's got somewhat of ownage of Philly and
Dak.
that division, Dak. It's this Niner team and this physicality.
888-957-9570 is the number. We got a big one brewing Sunday, 5:20. 49ers, Cowboys, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott. I mean, who's it a bigger game for? Brock Purdy?
I got something I
or
want to
Dak
read to you on the
Prescott?
other
How many
side.
years has Dak Prescott been in the league?
7, man.
Yeah, that's why it's a bigger game for Brock Purdy.
But they said this one from the 510, a
Hey,
win
Mark.
is bigger for Dak, but a loss is bigger for Purdy. I don't agree with that, but a win is bigger for Dak to quiet the noise,
It won't.
but a loss is bigger for...
This is just another, it's a big game. Dak Prescott's made it clear it's a big game.
Well, you're right there.
But because he hasn't come through,
That's
why it's not. Like, you're here saying, that's going to stink. Like, Dak can't get it done. Okay, so if he doesn't get it done, guess what? He gets another shot in the